Yo, SojuTalk Nation. On this week's episode, we'll be covering Fuego releases from Day 6, Winner, Brown Eyed Girls, Monsta X, and Taeyeon. We'll also be cooking up some spicy news coverage, including BTS and military service, a comprehensive look at the financial future of YG Entertainment, predictions for the 2019 Mnet Asian Music Awards, and the breaking news of Woojin's departure from Stray Kids. So prepare your body, get out your candy, because today is the SojuTalk Halloween special. Hit me with that intro. Hey, what's up everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spooky episode 58, and we're recording on Monday, October 29th, 2019. I'm Doug, and joining me today, we got Warren.
Hey, what's up everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
So this should be releasing on the 30th, so I know it's one day before Halloween, but too bad, we're wearing costumes.
Close enough.
I am wearing this dinosaur thing. I got a tail, even, as you can see.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's making sitting in this very uncomfortable. Warren is doing his cosplay of Hot Take Harold. So that's the thing. But as a quick reminder, please leave us feedback and questions at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the SojuTalk YouTube channel. Follow the SojuTalk Instagram. Join the SojuTalk Discord and be a part of the SojuTalk Nation. Links down below. Okay, in terms of shout outs and announcements for this week, Queendom recap on episode 9 breakdown should be on YouTube by the time you're seeing this. It's on YouTube exclusive, so check it out over there. This week, we also got a question from Jeslyn at the end of the podcast about idols and acting. It's an interesting thing. So shout out to Jeslyn. We'd like to thank you for your kind words. They were so nice. And she mentioned if we had seen V1 and specifically Xion from Dreamcatcher's performances. I have seen all of V1. Her performances were lit, particularly her cover of Overdose. That was kind of crazy. And I highly suggest, everyone at home to go and watch the performances at a minimum. Because the whole thing's very long, but just the performances is good. Lastly, we are happy to announce that the SojuTalk stickers are now up for sale. To order, all you have to do is fill out the order form, which can be found in the description of the episode 58 YouTube video or in the SojuTalk Soju merch channel on Discord. We will be selling sets of 2 stickers for $3. With each additional set of 2 stickers at $2, payment will be taking place via PayPal, and we are shipping these stickers to anywhere in the world. Also, lastly, as a quick disclaimer, we're selling these stickers close to our cost, and any and all profit will go directly to the hosting fees of the podcast. More instructions are on the form, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach us at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. So that's that. So if you want some stickers, there you go. If you were unfortunate and did not win the contest. But let's now get into the main thing why all of you are here. Okay. Big new releases with many S's.
Oh, man.
For this week. All right. Back on October 22nd, Tuesday, we had Day 6 with Sweet Chaos. October 23rd, Wednesday, Winner with SOSO. And today, on October 28th, Monday, we got a bunch of stuff. Double releases from Brown Eyed Girls with Wonder Woman and Abandon. Monsta X with Follow. And Taeyeon with Spark. But let's start at the top with Day 6, Sweet Chaos. Wow.
Really good.
Extremely good song, in my opinion. I know Warren has a bit of a weird face going on, but they are from JYP Entertainment. They debuted back in September 2015. Last 3 songs, Time of Our Lives, which is a banger, Days Gone By, Shoot Me, and they have 2 music show wins so far.
What do you mean I have a weird face going on?
I mean, you had a bit of a weird face going on.
I like the song as well. Jesus, you know, like.
Okay, but
make it seem like that way.
For me, this really has like late 2000s, early 2010s punk pop band vibes. Like
I see that. Yeah.
Fall Out Boy,
yeah.
Panic at the Disco, maybe a dash of My Chemical Romance. I just found this song to be like extremely nostalgic.
Man, Panic at the Disco. That's actually a really good that's a really good comparison, really.
I mean, that's what I thought the song was. All right, I'm getting hot. Let me put on the Harold hat instead.
Yo, can I take my hat off as well?
Okay.
You're putting it on?
Okay.
Dude, it's hot in here. What the hell?
You know, the music video, it's simple but beautiful. Like the at certain points they just did 5 across every member playing an instrument.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just really down for that in general. Like, I thought that was great.
in the beginning it begins off as like black and white grayscale, and then like later on the color like kind of blotches in. That was like so cool. I know it's not a new concept or anything, but that was really well done with like all the like the.
I mean, okay. This is the only thing I'm gonna pick out as something weird in the music video this week. I know I do it a lot. Mr. JYP, I don't feel so good.
Oh my god.
I mean, they were like dissipating away like in the Avengers movies. I don't know. That was the only thing.
Yeah. Yes.
But I mean, it's like Time of Our Lives is, I think, their best song out of all their songs they've done. But I don't think this was trying to be that type of song, and that's not taking away from this song at all.
No. Here's how I felt. Like personally, I wasn't really interested in Day 6 until Time of Our Lives. Right, that was like the big like hook in for me, and then I started listening to their other songs, and in that aspect, it's 100% not what I expected. But at the same time, I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised. It's a very nice song. It's very like rich. Being Warren, being myself that I am, being a food lover, I like to make food analogies.
Oh dear.
I have another one for this one. This song feels like a very cold brew.
Cold brew. Okay.
Okay.
Like a very refreshing, bitter, it's kind of mean, but it's like rich in flavor. It's got a little foam on the top, you know what I mean? It's like, it's bitter. It's like it embraces the bitterness, and it's like it's like pretty,
I wanna the member Sungjin. He's the guy with the raspy-ish voice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He really holds the song together. I think, like, even in Time of Our Lives, I was like, this guy's something special. But in this song particularly, he was on point. Like, he completely captured the vibe I thought they were trying to hit on this song. But overall, for me, very good song. What y'all think?
I would agree. I feel like for me, I think out of their most recent releases, Days of Our Lives, or Days Gone By, I should say, sorry, has been my favorite. I feel like this one feels more like Warren described, like more bitter, like a little bit darker, and it's not bad, but I don't know, I like their more light side, their more bright side as well.
But are you okay with that they depart from that a little bit?
Yeah, I really like how they did that here. I think my favorite part of this whole song was how they include the piano in the chorus. I don't know, I feel like it's been a lot of like synthy sounds, very electronic sounds for a while, but this feels very, I don't know, very acoustic in a sense, like very raw. And I feel like that's what I felt as well when you mentioned like early 2000s punk rock type of feel. So I liked it.
It definitely feels more rock, like it has more of a band vibe. Than
for sure.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of synths going on, besides like the background synth that's going on with like the. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the that thing, like
okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right? In the background, it's like that thing.
Okay. I think I know what you're trying to get at.
The siren thing.
The siren thing, I get that. I like Day 6 because they're like an idol band, but at the same time, they don't have to follow a lot of the rules of idol groups. Like, they can do small shows. Like, they could tour like a band, which they often do. And honestly, they're the top band right now. Like, it went from like FT Island to CM Blue.
Yes.
Then we had a bit of like a lull period once CM Blue dropped off a little. And it's definitely Day 6 right now, I would say.
I honestly, because I do remember when CM Blue and FT Island was around. I was never really super big into N-Flying, but between the idol bands groups, I gotta say, I do like Day 6. It's very up there for me, personally.
And they're like the least idol-y of all the current band idol groups right now too. They're the most like a band, straight up. But let's move on to winners, SOSO. So they are from YG Entertainment. They debuted back in August of 2014, and their last 3 songs were All Yeah, Millions, Every Day, and they have 23 music show wins. My one-liner was relatable, apathetic, aesthetic anthem.
Apathetic aesthetic anthem. That's a lot of A's.
I mean, I was going for the alliteration here. Like,
Alright, okay.
at my first listen of this song, I didn't get it. I was like, what is this? Because you know how I'm like the guy who likes drops in songs, right? Like, I'm like, you building to something, we need to go ham, we need to pump up the energy. I didn't get it at first until I turned on the lyrics and I got why they were saying SOSO, and it completely made sense to me on that level.
It definitely falls into it, or like, because it builds up to the hook, the drop, and then it suddenly he's like, so, you know, like
it's like the ultimate anti-drop, honestly. This song.
It does work well with the concept and everything, and the aesthetics of the video and all.
For sure. I mean,
yeah.
Can we talk about Seunghoon's scenes? Like, especially he's the one who was wearing no clothing in the second chorus.
Full nude,
bro.
Fuck naked.
He did really well in this like music video, I thought. Like, he stood out the most to me. Because, you know, it's like, obviously Mino's the most popular member, and then probably Jinu's number 2, I would guess. I'm not completely sure. I don't know how Winner goes. But, like, let's just say I knew Seunghoon was in this group, but I didn't know him, like, too well. I wasn't that interested. But this music video, man, with the shaved head, and then he committed to the whole music video with the naked vulnerability scene. Bro. This is low-key really good.
Has there ever been an Idol music video with nudity in it?
I'm sure you could find something. Honestly,
really?
I'm sure you could find something.
No clothing though? Man,
I don't know.
I was shocked. I was like, am I seeing this right? Like, I was shocked. There's a part, I mean, like you said, I feel like everything kind of falls into everything really nicely. There was a part where Mino kind of gets emotional.
Yeah.
And he kind of like, he becomes a little raw around the edges and delivering his verse. And I thought it was a very nice touch to detail. And I really do like that. It's just, man, it's been a while since I saw that really well delivered in an Idol song. I really enjoyed that, I gotta say.
Can we shout out to his line, "Leave me alone, I'm a Voltorb that's about to evolve"? That's a direct quote from his rap line. That's
interesting.
I think he should have said, "I'm a Voltorb that's ready to explode." That would have made more sense as to the Pokemon lore. I don't know what evolution of Voltorbs mean. I just thought it was cool that he incorporated Pokemon into his lines.
It's a little shocking.
Right? Also,
Pokemon,
like,
damn.
I saw some people saying, like, oh, I don't like this song because it's not similar to, like, Oh Yeah or Millions. You know what I mean? Like, they're more upbeat stuff. I think Winner is really committed at this point to becoming more artistic, and this is clearly more high level and artistic than what they've been doing. And that was our criticism of, like, Oh Yeah. We was like, this is too, like, soft, if you get what I'm saying, right? Like, there wasn't much substance going on. So I am happy that they're going this way. And, like, this line has great lines like, "I'm not super emotion or emotionless, just so-so." That is so relatable. I know, like, this song is in the context of, like, a failed relationship where you're just done, like, whatever, right? But at the same time, just that feeling of, like, I don't really care anymore is, like, I think everyone experiences that at some point.
Because going back to what you said about people being kind of let down that this isn't Ah Yeah or Millions. First of all, I feel like it's already like a concept and kind of emotion that they've like already explored and very well expanded upon. Another thing is, if you like those songs, listen to those songs. Like, they exist. Like,
yeah. Those were my feelings too.
They can't keep releasing the same song over and over again. Twice. You know what I mean.
Okay. But let's move on from there and get to the double release from Brown Eyed Girls. We got Wonder Woman and Abandon. So before we get to there, Brown Eyed Girls, I have the wrong company here because I did not update the script. I said it says on here they're from Starship. They are definitely not from Starship. But they debuted back in March 2006. I don't want to look it up, actually. But their last 3 songs were Brave New World, Kill Bill, or Sixth Sense. That's where one of you is supposed to look it up to help me out. But
it's the one with Yoon Jong-shin. God dang it.
Yoon Jong-shin? Really? That's where they're from?
Yeah, Yoon Jong-shin company.
Okay. I did not know that. But they have 12 music show wins. So let's start out with Wonder Woman. I wrote retro, funky, fabulous.
real quick, Mystic story. Sorry.
Mystic. Yes. Okay, Mystic. They are in Mystic now. I really like the music video. Not as big of a fan of the song.
Okay.
Now, number one, shout out to drag queens. Yo, this was like, I've never seen this many drag queens in anything K-pop related, maybe other than AOA's one of their early Queendom stages in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked it up. These drag queens are from the Korean drag team called Neon Milk. They're apparently quite famous. Wow. So check them out. Okay. I thought whoever did the makeup and concept thing deserves a raise because I thought it was great.
Yes.
The difference between the members in the members in black and then the drag queens in white, I thought it was really cool. I thought the amount of LGBT representation was great. I think it's a good thing that they're open to doing this. But at the same time, for me, the song was a little retro sounding, but I felt like there was definitely not like I know Jaya was technically singing the chorus, but at the same time, it wasn't super defined for me.
I have comments to make about that, but I'll save it after Anita goes. How about that?
Okay, well, I liked how the song was remade. I'm a fan of the retro sound, so I thought it was, I don't know, I liked the overall theme that they had going. Like Doug said, I really liked how they played around with the gender roles and the outfits as well, like having the drag queens be the brides and then the members be the grooms. So I thought, I don't know, I liked how the music video played around with that. And because there was so much going on in the music video, I didn't think the song needed to be overwhelming. So I liked that it was quite simple and it wasn't doing too much. I know that it's a remake, but I haven't listened to the original one, so I can't compare it. I would listen to it later on, but I don't know. So far, I like how it sounds now, and I feel like it got me interested in listening to the original as well. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's a big departure from the original at all.
Oh, okay. Warren smirked. Okay, I know you have something.
Is it
tangent off of that?
Let's go. Let's begin there. It's a remake.
Yes.
Let's begin there.
This whole album is remakes.
The whole album is remakes. They covered they remade a lot of the songs from late 80s to early 2000s. This one's in specific being from 2003. Original singer is Cho Won-sun. You can find her probably on a Doki album, an Epic High album here and there. She is kind of a person you kind of have to mention her when talking about Korean pop music history, because she pioneered, her and her group, there was a trio band called Roller Coaster. They pioneered a whole genre of jazz and pop music in a home recording. One of them got married to Lee Hyori later on, so that's kind of crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a group you have to mention. This song in specific, I kind of got into it like a year and a half or so ago, back when I was really into I still am, but when I was first getting into city pop and the old retro neutral sound, because the original song itself has a very it has kind of I wouldn't say city pop, but it has a kind of a jazz salsa thing kind of going on. A little bit of city pop vibes here and there. It's nice. The original song is, I would even go far and say great. It's kind of one of those songs that doesn't have a lot of up and downs, but you kind of groove to it, kind of dance to it, that kind of thing.
Okay.
That being said, I've just praised the song a lot, and so I have to admit I'm kind of biased towards the song itself. And the problem here is that when an artist goes ahead to remake a song, it needs to do either one of two things. First of all, it needs to either bring light to the original song in a very a focusing way, or it needs to kind of reinterpret the song. I don't think it's doing either of those. So my question comes down to, why did they decide to do a remake of this song? Why did they decide to remake Wonder Woman by Cho Won-sun? And at the end of the day, I'm left with this question. I can't really find an answer besides they wanted to do a remake, and that's not a good enough answer, honestly.
Here's something. So I was a very big Brown Eyed Girls fan back in the day, right? Abracadabra time, right? Sixth Sense time, around that era. I think a lot of people were big Brown Eyed Girls fans back then.
Yeah.
They haven't released anything in 4 years, right?
Yes.
Now we'll get to the Abandoned song and the Wonder Woman song, but like, I get that they're doing a cover album, but I really wish that they had done something more Brown Eyed Girls.
That was a thing as well.
Because
That was a thing as well.
I've been waiting 4 years to get like the badass Brown Eyed Girls. We're older, we're mature, we're gonna like wreck crap. I was about to curse terribly. We're about to wreck stuff, and like, I like both of these songs, but it's like, oh, I wish I got a little bit more Brown Eyed Girls. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's not something Brown Eyed Girl does well. It's not something. I guess they might have wanted to change things up because they're a little older now.
I get that.
But at the same time, I'm thinking, what's the point? What is the purpose? What is the motive? Like, it's got to be something just a little more than I think this is gonna sell.
But let's move on to Abandon then. I wrote this as like dark, dramatic, stunning ASMR. For me, this song was like pretty much ASMR, right? Like, it was a very like soft sound. I wrote the word haunting. I thought that was like one of the main ways you could describe it. I thought Medio with the talk rap was cool. Like, we often don't see that. Okay, Warren didn't like that, but I did think the vocal, obviously, Brown Eyed Girls has a very strong vocal line. Like, Jaeho was like one of the teacher mentors on Producer. Clearly, she's like a legendary tier vocalist, in my opinion. I thought the music video was beautiful, but I was just like, all right, this is a really slow paced song. I'm not a slow paced type of K-pop listener. I respect the art, but at the same time, I was like, okay, like, it's a very haunting song. I don't know. Or are you gonna wreck the rapping?
I respect Medio as a rapper. She is very capable of doing many things. This is not one of them. This is not one of them.
Okay.
Ooh.
Look here. She look. Honestly, okay. The second verse, the verse after near the end of the song, it's fine. It's not hateable. Earlier on in the second verse, she kind of like whispers between people, overlapping with other people's verses, and I'm not sure why they did that. Again, my question comes down to why. Why did they do that? I don't see the point. I don't see the purpose. I don't see a motive. It doesn't add anything. It distracts me. I'm confused. It's already a boring song, and now it's like a song that I don't like. That's honestly how I'm approaching this.
What about you, Anita?
I feel like I'm the opposite. I don't know. I think for me, what I liked about Brown Eyed Girls in general is that even though they're very much a K-pop girl group, I feel like they also like to try different things. Like, they don't confine themselves to a specific genre or a specific style. So I like the fact that they're releasing these two songs, right? And it's like very different sounds, very different vibes, outfits, music video, everything. So I liked watching. I actually watched this first before Wonder Woman, and I thought like it was very nice that they decided to pair it like this, and it definitely showed their maturity to me, because it felt like they're just doing whatever they want. I don't know. I just felt like it was more as choosing to do certain songs that they like, maybe, and in a style that is comfortable for them. Like, I know that they're really good vocalists, so I like that they decided to showcase that, even if it is really slow, and maybe it doesn't bring anything like completely different to the song, but it sounds different in the context of like what every other girl group is doing right now, to me.
Here's oh, you want to go first, Warren?
Yeah, let me go first, because I have a lot more to say real quick. I would completely agree with you on that if the arrangement was a lot more convincing in that aspect, because both the first song and this one, I felt like, yeah, there's definitely different songs that the current plethora of girl groups aren't doing, but at the same time, if the arrangement was fully developed, if the music was actually convincingly well made, then I wouldn't disagree. Only problem here is that I don't think the songs are well thought out in terms of arrangement and production. Yeah, that's honestly how I feel about this.
I think we have to look at this with perspective, because you got to think, they haven't released stuff in 4 years, right?
Right.
Most, I would say, you know how K-pop has had a humongous influx of people listening to it in the last 4 years. There are a lot of K-pop fans who do not know Brown Eyed Girls, period. Right?
Yes.
They were not around for them. For them to listen to Wonder Woman and Abandon is not not even closely representative to what Brown Eyed Girls was 5, 6, 7 years ago. That's the only thing because this is their introduction to them for a lot of people. And for them, this is not like, what I'll tell the listeners at home is if you have not listened to Brown Eyed Girls before, please go listen to their older stuff, which more or less defines who they are as a group, I would say. I know this is a new direction for them, but in their like legacy, this is not in line with what they generally sound like.
I've generally liked all their title tracks, with the exception of Kill Bill.
I agree.
Yeah, Kill Bill's kind of out there, but I mean, generally, it's had something interesting. It's always kind of coming out of the left field. It's very different from what everyone else is doing, and that's what I like about them. But the things that hold all of these together was that the songs were really complete. They kind of made sense in terms of art, in terms of the production, and like, you know, putting each instrument there makes sense and it's convincing. And that these two songs aren't like that. Sorry, I've been just like, it's one of the biggest letdowns, honestly, because I've been looking forward to this a very long time. I'm a fan of both of these songs originally. Again, I guess I'm biased, but at the same time,
I wouldn't say I'm disappointed terribly. I would say like, I like these songs, but it's just, for me, it's like, Brown Eyed Girls, I waited 4 years and like,
yeah,
I was just expecting something a little more like oomph. Do you know what I mean? Like, but let's
no, but shout out to I did, you know, like you mentioned earlier that they were like pushing boundaries with the drag queens, and that's not something I see in Korean media ever. So big shout outs there.
No,
really.
I mean, the consistent thing with Brown Eyed Girls is they're willing to push barriers, but at the same time, I don't think this was like the best way to go about it. Like, I'm not saying they should have done anything different. It's just like the song choice to make the videos of. I thought they could have represented themselves maybe a little bit better. But now let's move on to a group that is willing to have all the oomph and then some. So Monsta X is follow. So they are from Starship. They debuted back in May 2015. Last 3 songs: Alligator, Shootout, Jealousy. 10 music show wins so far. Bro, they go so hard, right? Like, oh my god,
what a spicy song.
Talk about like, okay, I love my K-pop drops. This drop was spicy, fuego, all the words, right? Like,
oh man.
And they did have some shadows, but it was not excessive like some of the other videos, which has been one of my complaints for the last couple of months.
You're in your shadow.
Using shadows, that clock effect they got going on with the shadow when they pan the camera was really cool. My main takeaway, Monsta X, I think a lot of you noticed, but they have one of the strongest rap lines in the game right now. Joohun's rap, when he says the line, like, I'll feel good if I die young, because I know you're my killer. That was hard, yo. That was hard. And then the the I am part too. Like, those were like, what? Like, I was like, I paused the video, listened to those 2 parts like 5 times each. Man.
I've always felt like I am is like this isn't too spicy of a take, and I'm sure some people will agree with me. I've always felt like I am is a more like inferior, lower brother to Joohun.
Oh,
I wouldn't say it's inferior, but definitely like less notable to general fans.
Yeah, sure. That's kind of what I mean. Like, but here I felt like, wow, like
when he did like that Joker laugh, that was the I was like, oh, that was literally what I said. But
spicy.
Shout out to Wonhyo and his abs. Like, he's like the only brother in K-pop who like got some. He a little bit thick boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like the main focus of this song. I thought a lot of the scenes, like he had the shirtless part. He in the first chorus, which is a lot of what people are watching. He was in the front center. That dance part in that chorus. Oof.
Yes.
I heard a comment that they look like rich pirates. That was one of the things I saw.
Oh, okay.
Pirates?
But Anita, what do you think of this song in general?
For me, I was just really taken aback in a good way by the sound that they're using this comeback, because it felt it's very different from their previous releases, I would say. And I saw a lot of people in the comments were mentioning how like it had some instrumental, them like Turkish traditional music. So some like the sounds were really interesting, and I noticed that, and I think it's really cool that they're trying stuff out. But yeah, I feel like this was not a song that I feel like I loved right away, like after the first listen, but it's definitely interesting enough that I want to keep going back and looking at it and listening to it more, especially because of the lighting, like you said,
Yes.
in the music video, and not because of the shadows, but like the way they use like the lights, like the halo lights,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the all white background. I don't know, it's really interesting, but yeah, I liked it. I think it's not like a top, like one of the top songs from them that I would listen to, but it's definitely something new, and I'm glad
They had very defined scenes for each of the members, which is something else I liked. Like the one guy with the halo light, right? They had like
Kyungwon, yeah.
yeah. They had what's his name? Shonyu. Shout out to Slow Contents if you know that meme. Shonyu, he had like the black and white thing going on. Like they had very defined things for each member. For me, the last song Alligator, I wasn't a huge fan of because we know Shootout was their mega hit, right? Last year.
Yeah.
It was last year's song. And then Alligator for me, I was a little bit let down. For me, this is back up in the right direction, I would say.
Okay.
What, Warren, would you have any overall feelings about this?
I thought it was a banger.
Yeah, okay. Woo.
I liked it. It's I mean it's not super unique in any way, but you know, it's
a fun
dense.
song.
It's fun. It's dense. You know, tension's high. I could get lit to this. You know, it's fun.
Yeah, I wrote follow is fuego flames. That was my one-liner for this.
Fuego flames. You said flames twice.
No, I said follow is
fire flames.
okay. Fire flames. Okay.
Fire flames, same thing. You know, like
Hey.
the instrument Anita was talking about earlier. I think I read somewhere. That it's supposed to be a traditional Korean instrument. I'm gonna have to do research on what exactly it is. I might be totally wrong, or they might totally be wrong. Who knows?
It sounded ethnic, whatever it was. that's all I'll say.
Didn't sound like a trumpet. I'll give you that.
I did not know where to place it. I was like, is this from Africa?
Exactly, yeah.
Is this the Middle East?
It threw
Eastern
you off a
Europe?
little.
Maybe it's one of those weird like Asian things they play in an opium den. I didn't know what they were playing here.
Opium den?
I don't know what just came out of my mouth, but I thought it was interesting.
Here's the thing, though. I a couple weeks ago, I'm not gonna mention the group or the name or whatever, but there was a group that overplayed the traditional Korean aspect. Don't do that. This is a good example. This is how you keep it. You keep it as an undertone. You keep it as an additive element, not the main thing. Jesus Christ.
Well, here's the thing. I couldn't tell that this was referencing Korean stuff. To be fair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I don't agree with your argument there, because I couldn't tell they were like even touching Korean stuff.
Okay.
I thought this was purely like not Korean sounding. Just saying. Also, I kind of like that song you don't like now. That's another thing. But let's move on to Taeyeon's Spark. So she's from SM Entertainment. She debuted back in 2007 with Sonushide. October 2015 as a solo artist. Last 3 solo songs were 4 Seasons. I think it's Page Zero and Something New. She has 100 music show wins with Girls' Generation, 18 as a solo artist. My one-liner is class is forever on this.
Oh,
wow.
man.
So
that Ferguson? Who said that? Ferguson? Was it?
Alex Ferguson. Yeah, so there's a soccer term that says form is temporary, class is forever. Class is forever.
Class is forever.
This is if not a 10 out of 10, an 11 out of 10 song.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This for me is a masterpiece. I'm just going to throw that out there. Bro. Number one,
chorus.
This song had a little bit of like Adele Rolling in the Deep vibes. I thought KT Tunstall, I thought those were also similar feelings. I think that's how you pronounce her name. They gave Taeyeon choreography. What is this? She looked fantastic. This was such an empowering song. The line, new spark, don't blow out but rise. Oof. And then that drum breakdown after the chorus. Oh my goodness, this song.
The way she goes like into like falsetto during the chorus. Dude, man.
Oh my god.
Man, I like that.
Were you guys this hype about the song too, or not as hype as me? No. God damn it. Okay.
I liked it. You know how I felt? You know what I think it is? In both in a good way and a bad way, I felt like this would fit right into a top 40 station. Right between Rolling in the Deep and I don't know, Take Me to Church. Like those two songs. Yeah, it would fit right there, in both in a good way and a bad way.
So
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So here's some news. So it Real Time All Killed, number 1. It did that today. Number 2, Purpose, which is the album title, now has the record for the highest first day sales on Hanteo by a female artist, surpassing Kill This Love by Blackpink. So this is the best-selling girl group album on the first day ever in the history. It did 96,000 when I checked. It could be over 100 at this point. 100,000 sales.
Wow.
Crazy.
This
Classes forever.
Classes forever. This was
forever.
So good. If you're gonna listen to one song this week, this is the song, I think.
Actually, there's one thing I didn't like.
Okay.
And I'm not the expert on this field, so please feel free to tell me I'm stupid, but when I saw the music video, her eyes, she got like a little pink line going on top of her eyes.
Yeah.
Between her eyebrows. I don't know, man. Like, that's funky looking.
That was a little weird. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that before.
I've seen it before, but I just don't like it in general. Like,
that's
not my thing. But, Anita, I know you said this was just good, right? Not great.
Yeah. The thing is, okay, I agree with this is definitely solidifying like Taeyeon as a powerhouse. Like she can definitely pull in the charts by herself. Like, I don't know. I feel like this solidifies her fame as a soloist. I just don't know if this song. I don't know. Like, I feel like I agree with the how people are responding to it. I just don't know if this is the song that represents her power as that. I don't know. Maybe I feel like she's had other solo songs that I felt were more iconic to me, maybe. But I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad song. It's just, it feels like it should be a different song that receives this much acclaim, maybe.
Well, I think maybe you're looking at it at more of like a musical perspective. I think other songs are more musically good, but I think in terms of appealing to the masses, this is the song. Because I think for a lot of people, like some of her more ballady stuff doesn't have that much replayability, but like this type of song is just going to be played constantly everywhere I see.
I'm going to question that because I'm not sure how well a song like this is going to do well in Korea.
I mean, it all killed.
Oh, that just means she has a big fandom, buddy. If she stays there for like 2 weeks, then I will agree and say the general public is very on this one. Otherwise, and hope she does. But at the same time, my question is this a type of song that Korean gender population is gonna want to hear? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying she is. I don't know. Question mark.
From everything I'm seeing, it's a mega hit so far, though.
Dude, it's been a day.
Yeah, but 100,000 albums can't lie with that.
She's got a big fandom, buddy.
Yeah, but fake popularity translates into real popularity because of exposure. That's true, though.
I mean, yes, but how long is that gonna last? That's
okay. Friendly wager.
What I mean?
I think this is gonna be one of those iconic songs of the year. That's my take on this.
Man, I like the song, but I don't like it that much.
Okay, I think Western audience will eat this up too.
I think the Western audience will.
Yeah,
I can see that.
see that for sure.
Okay, but now
right between Adele and Take Me to Church.
Yeah, but both of those are iconic, dude. You know what I mean, right? Like you can't.
But that's top 40 America. This is K-pop.
I mean, how many times has Adele Rolling in the Deep been played in Korea too? Let's say that, dude.
Probably less than Gangnam Style, I bet.
Okay, just saying. But if you guys had to recommend one song this week, would it be something other than this?
Yes.
I want to say Day 6, maybe.
Day 6.
I would have also said Day 6. The Americano and the cold brew.
Okay. I'm outnumbered here, but let's move on to the show winners for this week. So, on the show, AB6 won for Blind for Love, their 4th win. Show champion Chen won a 2nd win for Shall We. I thought we reviewed that like a month ago, so that was a little bit surprising.
Pretty well.
Yeah. M Countdown and Music Bank were both won by Super Junior Super Clap, bringing their total to 2. And then Show Music Corps, Akmu won their third award for How Can I Love the Heartbreak, You're the One I Love. And there was no broadcast of Inkigayo this week because of basically, they were planning to have Korean baseball playoffs if it reached like game 7 or 6, whatever it was, but it ended early. But they didn't have anyone scheduled to come sing, so they just canceled the show. That's what happened there.
Okay.
But now let's move on to Hot Takes with Harold. On this segment, my cousin, Hot Take Harold, will come on and give his weekly hot take, and the crew will react and discuss the hot take. Lego.
Oh, I heard that Harold's not with you today.
Harold's taking a break.
Huh?
I stole his hat.
What?
I heard Warren's cousin, Hot Take Hubert, is going to be making a visit today.
Hubert.
Yeah, let me go get Hubert real quick. Be right back.
What's
Hubert.
this? What?
So, Anita,
Yes.
there is so much content the last couple weeks. I'm like drowning in it right now. I need some help. Is this not the busiest month we've ever had? I think it is.
I feel like it is. We saw this coming.
Oh no! Who is this lad?
Oh, hi. Hi,
hello, everybody.
Hubert.
Hi guys, how you guys doing? Oh man, I can't see because I'm not wearing my glasses, but I'm gonna try to read this.
All right.
All right. So this week's weekly hot take is international popularity is what solidifies success in K-pop. So have a good night, guys.
Bye, Hubert. Bye, cousin Hubert. Okay, that was weird, right? That was I know Harold's a little weird. Hubert was a little strange though.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're...
Yo, what'd you say about my cousin? What'd you say about my brother?
All right, so international popularity is what solidifies success in K-pop. That is the take for this week. I really struggled with this one because I am
It's a tough one.
purely an international fan, right? So is Anita, right?
Yes.
We are purely international fans. I would like to think international popularity is what solidifies success in K-pop. But if I'm to be honest with myself, international popularity is more like the icing on the cake. My take on the industry is you need to solidify home popularity before you can even think about international popularity because most of the income comes in through Korean means.
Here's the thing. This was definitely true 2 years ago.
Okay.
I actually, because we know the topic before we record, and I did some research, and that being said, we got the topic a long time ago. I forgot the exact name of the paper I ran into, but the statistics in 2017 was that profits generated is very big in Korea, and then after that it's Japan, and then China, Southeast Asia, and then Europe and America. So that being said, we're a very small portion of the market. And now again, that was 2 years ago. Things might have definitely changed. You know, Red Velvet's doing North American tours now. It's kind of crazy. But at the same time, with that argument in place, my question is, how important is the foreign success? Because success in Korea gives artists a lot of leverage that foreign success doesn't get you. For example, if I were to be really successful in Korea, I could get signed on for advertisements. That's a real big, easy way to make big money. That's honestly a lot of profit, a big portion of profits for a lot of celebrities in Korea, idols included. If, for example, Group ABC is not popular in Korea, but for some reason very popular in, let's say, China. So, well, actually, China's fine, but let's say they're really popular in Europe. The chances of them scoring an advertisement in France is very low, and then their chances of scoring an advertisement in Korea is also low. So they're not going to make any advertisements, which means even if they have a lot of fans in France, they're not going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's kind of the sad part, really.
I think with this take, it's like when we say international popularity, it's like if we think about the main income sources for K-pop, it's Korea, Japan, China, right? We like to group those. It's like because number one, distance, accessibility. Like I know, like with Taeyeon's big album sales on the first day, they said a lot of it was from Chinese fans, right? But that does count as like Korean sales because their albums being sold in Korea just bought by Chinese fans, right? So they have the accessibility to impact money in Korea, which is the better way to say it. When I think of international popularity, I'm talking like Europe, South America, North America, Australia, that bigger market, Southeast Asia, that market, right? That's what I think this is really getting at. At least as an American fan, we do not have as many opportunities to spend money on K-pop directly. I think that's one of the big failings right now in the industry is, other than, I want to say, like Super M's massive like store, which you can access pretty much anywhere in the world, it's very hard for me to directly buy stuff to support the groups I like. Like,
Right.
like I get that the take is that international popularity is what solidifies success in K-pop. What really solidifies success in K-pop is being financially healthy as a group, and
Generating profit.
now is it I know that we had that article maybe 3 weeks ago that said that Korea spends the most per capita on music, right? Supporting musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I know that as Americans, we're really in a thing where we can like just listen to it on YouTube. We can listen to it on Spotify. We don't got to spend a lot of money on it, right? But I think if given the opportunity, if we knew that, let's say, I'm going to buy this Twice album, I know I'm buying it directly from JYP or their distributor that's linked to JYP, I would buy more things if I knew I could support my favorite groups. But it's just that a lot of groups don't have the infrastructure to do that. So that's why my argument is that international popularity, does it solidify success? Yes, but you have to be successful at home first in order to even think about generating profits outside of the Eastern Asian market.
Yes, I'm gonna add on a couple more things because even then, I don't think I quite agree. However, I do think that for a K-pop group to be healthy, they need to be successful in Korea. And if they're successful outside Korea, great, even better.
Yeah,
That's I didn't put that into a nice coherent sentence, but you know what I mean. Like, it's if they're successful in Korea or even Japan or China for that matter, fine, good job. And then if you're popular in America or the Great Britons or Argentina, wonderful. That's even more market. But at the same time, if your only market is Argentina, big oof, buddy.
So here's the example we could bring up. It was relevant for last week. So, as y'all know, Luna is massively popular outside of Korea and not as popular within Korea, right? We've been wondering about their financial situation for the last couple months because they haven't had a comeback in 200 something days, really long time. Even though that you would think with how much popularity they have outside of Korea, you would be like, why aren't they getting comebacks? The fact that they have such a big international thing is more just showing that these international fans, we don't have the opportunity to spend money to support them other than iTunes, where they don't even make a good margin on that, right? iTunes takes most of it. Now, will this have a trickle-down effect that because they're popular outside of Korea, it would help them in Korea? Yeah, probably a little bit. But I don't think it's fair to say that just because you're popular outside of Korea, it's going to translate into success within Korea.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're not the ones, ifans. We're not the ones that are going to their fan meets. We're not the ones that are able to go to their music show recordings, stuff like that. We're not the ones that are able to go watch their invited shows and whatnot. So at the end of the day, yes, I'm sure the ifan presence is definitely something. I'm not saying it's absolutely nothing, but at the same time, it's difficult for a group to solidify success just off of international existence,
Anita,
without having a good Korean existence.
Anita, what do you feel about this?
I feel like I agree with that because I do feel like some of the groups that do end up being really popular internationally struggle back home, and in a sense, they're just more in a position where they have to struggle a little bit more, even though they do have a success outside of Korea. I think what this take makes me think about is just if in the industry it's now seen as having this international success outside of Korea, it's more of a kind of like a a line of passing. Like if you make it internationally and you make it in Korea, like then you've hit it big.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess it's not enough anymore. I guess for groups to make it big in Korea. Like that's like the new goal, to make it big in Korea, of course, but at the end of the day, also make it big internationally.
Yeah.
It's definitely become some sort of like a standardized next stage, next level kind of deal.
Next
it's
level, yeah.
It's like the traditional path right now is blow up in Korea, and then everyone's listening to you outside of Korea, and then if you have enough money, you can then try to make money outside of Korea. So like BTS, right? Obviously,
Right.
BTS, Twice are like the outliers, right? They don't represent the average group, of course, because they're so successful relative to most groups. But it's like BTS, they made 200 billion Korean won, $174.6 million throughout their 6-month world tour, right? Obviously, they're an outlier, but it shows that international fans are willing to spend the money if given the opportunity. I think it's just that
Right, yes.
at this point, because there is not enough revenues for us to support our favorite artists financially, it's hard to say that international popularity is what solidifies success in K-pop. If there was opportunity and we can see us driving money into Korean, into our groups, then maybe I could agree with this.
I'm gonna be a big trash can weeaboo and compare it to anime.
Okay.
Because
Oh, okay.
so anime is Japanese animation. I'm sure all of you guys know, and there's definitely a huge anime following in the international market. Americans,
Right,
Korean, Chinese. I'm sure there's weebs everywhere. We're everywhere. We take over everything. We're weebs. The thing is, there's certain animes that will be big in America, and then there's certain ones that are not big in America, and then they're big in Japan. And they sometimes there's a defining pattern, and there's multiple reasons why those things happen, and then why certain shows don't get a second season or a sequel or like a movie or whatever. And there's there's a lot of factors like Blu-ray sales and whatnot. And then Netflix started funding anime. Straight up American companies started funding anime, and then things started to change. Things definitely started to change in terms of the international influence on anime. Whether that be a good thing or a bad thing, I'm sure that's different per perspective. But I'm an international person. I'm both hands welcome. Yes, I like that. And if something like that happens, I guess this kind of goes back to Doug's point. If there's a good way, if there's a more standardized, a safe, proven route for companies to generate profit off of international sales, it's gonna look better.
I think we're in the very start of that with like the SM.
It's going to happen.
With the
I'm
Super M store, we're starting to see more K-pop products in like general CD stores, like Barnes and Nobles. You can find some K-pop, which is an American bookstore. Hot Topic, which is a clothing store. They're starting to stock more and more K-pop T-shirts and stuff like that. We're in the early stages of that. I think maybe in like 2-3 years we can agree. Yeah, international route is a good way to generate income because you have that popularity out there. But at the moment, I think solidifying like the home base of Korea is like the most important thing, I would say.
Step one.
Okay, I like that take. It's good because I sometimes get so disappointed when I have to like buy albums off of eBay and I'm like, I hope this is supporting, but you can never know. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and I wish like I was like, man, like I like the hashtag Save Luna thing, but like I wish I can like directly buy albums from the company so I know that they're getting the money, right? But I mean, that's that. Let's move on to the news and events from last week. This is a good discussion. So this is BTS and military service. So No Hyung Ok, I think, or Uk, Minister of the Office of Government Policy Coordination, said on October 18th that a comprehensive review reflecting current trends is needed regarding military service obligation of K-pop stars such as BTS. He said in a statement, "We need a comprehensive review regarding special exemptions for military service for those in the K-pop industry in order to reflect the current trend of Korea's expansion as a cultural content powerhouse." So, according to the current military laws, exemptions from the mandatory military service is limited to national athletes who win medals at the Olympics or a gold at the Asia Games and musicians who top particular international competitions. No is suggesting an expanded review to include world-famous K-pop stars for special exemptions from the draft. This is a weird gray area because
it's interesting.
I see the argument a lot of times people make is like Super Junior members had to go to the military, TVXQ members had to go to the military. Everyone's gone to the military so far. But if you're going to change something, obviously then things have changed. That's the first perspective, right? Like you can only live in now. You can't live in the past, right? If we're going to change the policy. In terms of the policy, I think Warren should talk about it because I'm not one to make a judgment on this. To be frank.
Man, this topic. Let me be frank.
Okay.
I'm not. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm sure there's in Korea, as far as I can tell, there's a good amount of people who are supporting this new policy change, and then there's another good group of people who are disagreeing with this policy change. And it's questionable whether getting a gold medal in Olympics it has the same amount of influence as what BTS is doing, that kind of stuff. It's definitely in the gray area. And if we can if we can standardize this, if you can create a certain line that says if they cross this line, they get to be exempt from the military, and set a clear precedent for the future, I'm all for it. I'm not the one going to the military for them.
So you're saying standardized, so it would be like #1 album on this plus like a Grammy or something. Like you want something standardized.
Sure, if they win a green Grammy, don't go. Something like that, yeah. If that's the case, by all means. But if it's the case where they're like, BTS isn't gonna go.
So you're saying if it's subjective, then you can't agree with it.
Yes. There's got to be an objective. It's not I can't agree with it. It's the law's got to agree with it. I
see what you're saying. There's no room for subjectivity, is what you're saying in this.
Yes, because otherwise, man, the internet's gonna blow up.
See, I've never heard that perspective, and I completely agree with what you're saying there. Because it's like right now, it's like you win a gold medal. I do think Heung-min Son, the soccer player from Tottenham, best Korean player right now, them funneling him into the Asia Games so he can get out of the military, that was questionable at best. I love that guy. Everyone knew what they were doing there, right? They were like he's gonna get in. Even the team Tottenham knew what was going on. They're like, we're gonna send him to the Asia Games, even though we kind of need him in our season right now, so he can hopefully win the tournament and get exempt. It worked out for him, right? But there were a lot of discussions all right, that's a little gray area, right? We were basically fishing for the exemption at that point. Musicians who these are extreme level pianists and other kind of classical music type people, right? I'm assuming is what they mean here. For BTS in particular, it's on paper, are they culturally impactful? Of course. If you ask people, name some Koreans, BTS will probably be in the first 5 names they would name, right?
Man, I don't know how to break this to you. You know what? So I was in Korea and met up with a lot of Korean friends, and you know what? A lot of questions I got was, is BTS actually popular in America?
Oh.
Because they're always nobody around me likes BTS.
Interesting.
My aunt was straight up what's up with the BTS thing? How are they big in America?
All right, well,
interesting.
I know you might say that about Koreans, but internationally, they are humongous.
Oh, internationally is...
That's what I'm saying. Everyone knows who they are. So they do have an international cultural impact. I'm really happy that you brought up that thing about objective standards, because I think that would be the way to do it, for sure.
If it happens.
If it happens.
Would I get my hopes on it happening? No.
Sorry, I wouldn't either. Because the precedent is there for K-pop idols to go to the military, and it would be very hard to break that. And if they did change it, a lot of people would be pissed that their favorite idols had to go in the past, I would say.
Yeah, big oof. We Koreans like to be spicy, and you're gonna see some spice.
But Anita, do you feel about the same, sort of where I am with this?
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I'm also come from the perspective where I've seen idols that I follow as well, like serve in the military, and like they do that, they come back, and then they continue. And I agree that BTS might be could be considered an exception in like cultural impact outside of Korea.
Mhm.
It's just that it seems I don't know they have to word it very very well, very specific because it seems like it's favoritism to a certain extent. And like, how do you justify that? And like, who else will qualify for that later on?
Yeah.
So I agree. I feel like there should be very specific wording for this if it happens.
It would also bring up things like people would start fishing for that exemption too. Then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would
That's
bring up a
gonna
bunch
end up
of
happening
effects as
too.
well. But I think it's good that we had this discussion. So the next one is called A Comprehensive Look at the Financial Future of YG Entertainment. So on October 23rd, Hana Financial Investment Group, they're a giant firm in Korea. They have a Wikipedia page in English, so that's how big they are as a...
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they released their analysis of the state of YG Entertainment's finances. So the report that they released was cautiously optimistic, and the head analyst stated significant events such as the end of the police investigation and tax audits, G-Dragon and Big Bang's return from the military are more are less than a month away. If potential profits such as Big Bang's comeback and Treasure 13's debut come to fruition, YG Entertainment may be the company with the highest likelihood for growth in 2020. But some other things they said. So YG operating losses for the third quarter of 2019 are expected to end up at 1.3 billion Korean won. So they're going to have a deficit of $1.1 million. But
Oh dear.
however, activities such as Akdong Musician's album and digital sales, Winner and Blackpink end of the year comebacks, and more will likely result in significant recovery in the agency's overall profits by the end of the year. So they're saying first 3 quarters of the year, not that good, right? But they're saying because of all the stuff that's going to happen, they'll probably go in the positive by the end of the year. Finally, the final statement was that the company's return as a competitor to their in terms of their stock will depend completely on Big Bang's decision to renew their contract, as well as Treasure 13's debut occurring within the first quarter of 2020.
So is that confirmed though?
No.
They're
They're saying that what they're saying there is not it's confirmed, but they're saying it's dependent on that. So they're saying if they want to have a great year next year, they need 2 things: Big Bang to renew their contracts, Treasure 13 to debut within the first 3 months of the year.
Wow. Is that likely to happen? I wonder. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm really wondering.
the Treasure 13 trainees were seen this week. They were at the Winter Showcase.
I hope so. I want them to debut.
Man. So GD, he's back.
He's back. Okay,
Good
so
to see him back.
he got discharged from the military. There's this like, how do I call it? There's this crazy illness going around, and it has to do with pigs, I believe, in Korea.
Yeah, pig illness.
Pig
really,
illness.
that's what
It's
is.
in like all the countryside areas. G-Dragon's military base was in one of those provinces, so they moved it to a place where it's not. And they still told fans not to show up to the discharge ceremony. 3,000 fans showed up.
Wow.
It's one of the
Thank you,
biggest
guys.
discharges of all time, they said.
Wow.
Thank you for listening to the government officials.
I mean, I would bet money that he's gonna resign with the company.
Oh, I'm betting money too.
I would be shocked if he went his separate ways. I would be absolutely shocked.
He Top making more music as well. I think I saw on his Instagram that he's like working on new music.
If Big Bang, Taeyong's still in the military, right, guys? Yeah, right.
Is he? I'm not too sure. I think so.
I believe he is. They're number one. In order for YG, they're right. They have to resign. That's the first thing. Like they're the biggest money makers at that company.
Yeah.
Still. Treasure 13 debuting. You know the thing is, I feel like they do need to risk it and do it. Even though there's negative pressure on the company because of all the scandals, they gotta do it. If they gotta risk it, I think.
I feel like it's just gonna throw off if they don't do this. If they don't debut who they already have right now, I'm pretty sure a majority of them are gonna leave. They're not gonna wait because they're young and they could sign with someone else and get out faster. So I don't know. I feel like they're gonna lose a good amount of people that would hopefully make the money in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like if it doesn't happen next year or really soon, I don't see it working out.
Here's the thing. YG has 2 jobs. 2 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fluff this up, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mess this up. 2 jobs. That's not a lot of things to ask.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, this Hana Financial Investment Group is like, they honestly know what they're talking about. Like their literal job is to predict financial futures. That's their primary thing. It's a giant conglomerate there. So obviously these analysts know what they're doing. Big Bang's decision to renew, I don't think that's the hard part. I think like risking it to debut Treasure 13 in the current climate is the risk.
That's the risk.
Additionally, they said in this that Blackpink's end of the year comeback. I don't know if that's being confirmed there, but it was in that statement, right? They mentioned it word for word.
I mean, it needs to happen. That's their other cash cow.
We'll have to see if that actually does happen. I would guess that it probably will happen because it doesn't make sense for them to sit on that longer because they have been bringing back like actor musician. Winner came back. It does make sense for Blackpink to come back. The obviously the thing we're gonna be most looking at is Treasure 13 within like I'm not gonna say first 3 months, first half of the year is what I'm going to be looking out for.
Okay, yeah.
If it doesn't happen though,
big problems.
Big oof.
And if let's say here's the thing, they might as well make G-Dragon creative director of the company at this point. Because
that's what people want.
because he's the only person at that company who I would say more or less universally liked and respected still. Like people have qualms with Blackpink, but it's like G-Dragon, if there's someone who's gonna save the company, like literally carry them, it's him.
I might argue that Blackpink is more universally liked over G-Dragon at this point, but you know, I'm not against G-Dragon as creative director as YG. I would like to see that happen.
I'm maybe not creative director, but he needs to like actively be like, I'm hard carrying this,
producing,
like
doing stuff for groups,
right? But we'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
You know, I at this point I was like super worried, but because of this like analysis, I'm like, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I don't think they're completely screwed by any means.
There's hope.
Even from the beginning, we were like, they're kind of too big to completely fail at the same time. So we'll have to see. Lastly, predictions for the 2019 Mnet Asian Music Awards, also known as MAMA. All right, so this is what happened. So get ready for the 2019 MAMA. On October 24th, nominees were announced for this year's award show, and voting is now open. This year's ceremony will take place on December 4th at the Nagoya Dome in Japan, and hashtag MamaVote trended #1 on Twitter right after they released the nominees. We are going to go through what we consider the major awards, and we'll just talk about them a little. So, Best New Artist, Best New Male Artist, the nominees were AB6, ATEEZ, Kang Daniel, Kim Jae-hwan, TXT, and X1. Number 1, where's CIX? That was the first thing I thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought this was going to be a competition between AB6, TXT, X1 before anyone had told me these nominees. The inclusion of like Kang Daniel is a big move here, right?
Mnet power play.
Because it's like they generally give it to someone related to Mnet if possible. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the fact that you got Kim Jae-hwan, Kang Daniel, and X1 in this category makes things interesting because if you told me objectively who should win, I would probably say TXT. Because of album sales and popularity and what they've been doing. But now that you've added Kang Daniel into the mix, it's like...
I mean, technically... TXT does have a decent chance, I would say, because, you know, TXT, big hit, buddies with CJ, that's Mnet, you know, like, they're technically on the same level of, you know, business as well. So I might argue TXT might win it.
Who do you think's going to win, though?
X1.
X1?
X1.
Anita, what about you? Real quick.
Who do I want? Or
no. Who do you think Mnet will choose to win?
Who do I think? I think... See, I don't know. I feel like maybe 2 months ago, I would have said X1 had a big chance.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I don't know. And I feel like it could be TXT.
Okay. I'm going to say TXT as well, depending on X1 not coming back with a second song before then.
I mean,
That's my caveat.
I'm not like either. I'm not.
All right, next one. Best new female artist, essentially female rookie of the year. We got Bandit, Cherry Bullet, Everglow, ITZY, Junsomi, Rocket Punch. This is for me essentially a 2-horse race with Everglow and ITZY. Right, Anita?
Between.
Everglow and ITZY.
Yeah.
Right? I know Warren's gonna
I
say
would
Rocket
think
Punch,
so.
but objectively they're not gonna win this. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
fam.
objectively, they're not
gonna win this.
We're kidding myself.
Junsomi's thing wasn't as greatly received as she probably had hoped, or as everyone had hoped. Cherry Bullet still kind of new. Bandit, objectively probably the least known out of these nominees. It's a 2-horse race. Everglow, ITZY. They're gonna give it to ITZY. Let's be honest here.
I don't think it's a 2-horse race. I
Yeah.
already disagree there. I think it's ITZY.
So it's
I'm
ITZY
sorry.
with like a you did well, Everglow on the side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think we're gonna agree that ITZY's probably gonna win it. Next one, best male artist. So this is solo artist. We got Baekhyun, Park Hyoshin, Paul Kim, Songmino, Taemin.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say Baekhyun's gonna win this. UN Village. Let's go.
Interesting.
Or the interesting thing is if they give it to Ballad King Paul Kim,
Exactly. I was thinking about
because
that.
that guy charts better than anyone on this list.
Yeah.
I might. Paul Kim honestly is one of like the people who brought back the trend of ballads. I would have to say like Paul Kim.
I feel like it could be him.
Yeah. Yeah, and You and Village was a great song. Don't get me wrong. I praised it really highly. I still agree with what I
know-
said many episodes ago. But really, Paul Kim kind of changed the scape.
I know Paul Kim, obviously he doesn't have many physicals because he mostly sings on OSTs and singles, right? But if you ever look at like how he charts, it's always number 1 whenever he releases anything.
Yes.
So I think they might give it to him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go the more pop route and give it to Baekhyun as well.
I'd be surprised if they give it to Big N.
Next one, best female artist. We got Chungha, Haze, Hwasa, Jennie, Taeyeon.
Oh,
Oh man, this is stacked. That's big stacks, Bill stacks, big stacks.
Okay, because
Very
you got to think, Hwasa had Mongchungi, right? Jennie had Solo. Chungha had 12 o'clock. Taeyeon
oh
has.
my god.
Wait, what's this song called? Flame? What was the song that came out
You
today?
said it's like the song of the year, buddy.
Spark.
What
Spark.
happened?
I know something with
Spark.
fire. I'm sorry, it just
Spark.
came out today. Haze has. I don't know any. I forgot all of her title tracks off the top of my head, but I know she's done work this year as well. This is a tight race, right?
This is really tight.
Oof.
Isn't Gotta Go's this year, right?
It was like the first song to come out in January this year.
It's Chungha, guys.
You think it's
It's
I
Chungha?
want it to be Chungha.
It's Chungha. It's Chungha. Don't get me wrong. Everyone else did really well.
I'm gonna say my girl Taeyeon is gonna win this.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. We'll have to see. So next is now we got to talk some politics. Best male group. We got BTS, EXO, GOT7, Monsta X, NCT 127, and 17.
Oh.
This is a
man.
non-Daesang award. Generally,
not BTS?
that's my reason why I don't think they're gonna give this to BTS, because they normally give like the second best male group this one, because they're gonna. I would be surprised if BTS wins this, because they will probably win some Daesangs this year.
I mean, they could win 2 awards. Who knows?
So if I don't include BTS, I have to give this to 17.
Ooh.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I don't think you could argue for any of the other groups. Like 17 has had 3 songs this year. They've sold a ton of albums. I don't think EXO, they are, I believe they're having a comeback soon, but at least this year they haven't released anything yet as a group, full group.
No.
GOT7 had the 1 song in the summer. Monsta X has had the 2 songs, the one that came out today, and Alligator. NCT 127 has had a couple songs, right? I think.
Superhuman.
Yeah. But
I mean-
17's put in work.
Awards like this usually include December album songs from last year. If that's the case, then we're talking about tempo and like
Yeah.
regular as well. But
Oh, Love
Possibly
Shot
in that case, but right now, my vote's on 17 as well.
Me too, for
Yeah.
sure.
17.
17.
Okay, best female group: Blackpink, G-Friend, IZ*ONE, Mamamoo, Red Velvet, Twice.
Twice.
I'm under the impression that Twice is going to get a daesang, so I'm going to say
IZ*ONE.
IZ*ONE. They are their children. They are Mnet
That's true.
children, and they are going to release a new song in November.
Okay, actually, you might have gotten me there.
If Twice doesn't win a daesang, obviously it's going to be Twice.
What songs have they done? Violetta, right?
Violetta,
Vampire.
And the one
What's
that's
the other
going to
one?
come out.
What are the
Buenos
other Japanese
Aires.
single? Buenos Aires.
So they've had 4 songs.
getting best female group with Vampire and Buenos Aires. Man, I mean, it seems possible, but
But you also got to think, I don't think they're going to give it to G-Friend, but they're the only group to have won all the music shows in a week twice. They did it twice this year. So domestically, they did well.
as much as they didn't like Kill This Love did really well, guys.
Kill This Love was
That's
good.
true.
Red Velvet has another comeback by the end of the year, too. So we'll have to see with that. But
Red Velvet did well too.
I think they're going to give it to the Mnet children. IZ*ONE. That'd be my
That's
bet.
likely.
That sounds likely, yeah.
Okay, next.
Mm-hmm.
Album of the year. We don't have there's no list for this. I think it's probably going to be BTS's album.
I disagree. I think it's gonna be Pink Punch by Rocket Punch. Wonderful album.
But I don't think there's much discussion on this unless anyone really loved the specific album that they think could beat BTS's album this year.
Don't think there is much competition.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
we're gonna give this one to BTS. Artist of the year. I will be surprised. We'll do that one first, and then we'll get the song of the year. Artist of the year. I'll be surprised if they give it to anyone but BTS.
Could Twice be considered for this though?
No,
If BTS doesn't come to Mama, then maybe. But I'm going to assume BTS is coming, which means they're probably gonna win it.
You know, if we take things literally, the awards is called Mnet Asia Awards, right?
Yeah.
They've been more popular outside Asia than they were in Asia, technically. You know, they've been focusing a lot in the Americas and the Europe,
but
like that.
It's a hard sell for me to say that anyone but BTS is gonna win this.
Yeah, no, BTS is gonna win.
All right, song of the year
Stop
is
joking
where it
around.
gets interesting because generally that's the one they don't give BTS. Twice won it last year, right? So I went through. There is nominees for these for this song. These are the songs I thought might have a chance. I saw Twice's Fancy, BTS Boy With Love, of course, EXO's Tempo, Jennie's Solo those were the ones that I thought were most notable out of the nominees. And then my sleeper pick, Ben 180 Degrees, which was one of the best charting songs of the whole year.
That's true.
That song dominated the charts for a long time.
Ben was it.
I do think though, if my bet, Twice's Fancy is gonna be the one that's gonna get it.
Twice as Fancy is gonna be there,
I feel
or
like they
that, or Feel
deserve that.
Special.
Yeah, it's one of the two Twice songs. Feel Special
Yeah.
or Fancy. I think that's what they're going to do. So they'll give BTS. I think there's only 3 songs this year. There could be 4. I'm not sure, but I think they're going to give BTS 2, and we think they're going to give Song of the Year to Twice's Fancy. I don't know if that's the best song of the year, but that's just what we think is going to happen based on the politics. Okay,
BTS is gonna win, guys.
This was kind of shocking news. We had 2 shocking departures. So today, Stray Kids announced Woojin's departure plus delays upcoming album release. On October 28th, JYP Entertainment released a statement that stated that Woojin has left the group due to personal reasons and that the company has canceled his exclusive contract. The Stray Kids mini album, which was originally scheduled for November 25th, has been pushed back to December 9th. This is what? News.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere.
So Woojin was one of their main vocalists.
Right.
The fact that this is coming so sudden, right after their comeback, and they're pushing back the next thing they're doing, seems like something happened.
I know. I feel like, to me, it feels like it's something that cannot be foreseen. And honestly, I know a lot of fans are very sad right now and upset, but to be honest, I just hope that he's okay. And like, if his departure is necessary for him to be okay, then I feel like that's the best thing.
I hope that's like, I know this is weird to say, but I hope that he left actually because of
I don't know. I'm sad that people will still be.
Hello? Anita, you had like a big lag.
Technical difficulty.
There was a big lag there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go there. I, in a weird way, hope it was a personal reason that he left, and not because of he did something like mine. If he did something terrible, yeah, maybe he has to leave the group. But I hope it wasn't something minor that the company just overreacted and kicked him out of the group. We don't know.
I don't think it would be that. Yeah.
But this does seem very sudden and strange.
Yes.
I hope everything is okay with these people involved.
I hope he's okay.
The second one was the boys announced member Hwal's departure from the group due to health issues. So as a result, the boys will be regrouping as an 11-member team as of October 23rd. Hwal will be leaving the boys. It seems likely that he will remain under the label to promote in a different field. He's leaving because of chronic ankle issues. Like, he just can't perform anymore.
Yeah.
This one's just, like, sad. Especially
Really
for health
sad.
reasons, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Because, like, he wants to do it, but he physically cannot anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he thrived as a solo artist.
And I don't know if he was the most popular in Korea, but there's a popular website where you can look up K-pop group profiles. And you could vote on the bottom who your favorite member is. Or at least on the international level, he was the most popular on that survey.
Oh, man.
So that is saying something. Quick takes. We got 3 of them. BTS and EXO nominated for 2019 American Music Awards. So BTS was nominated for Favorite Duo or Group Pop/Rock, Tour of the Year, and Favorite Social Artist, which they won last year. EXO was also nominated for Favorite Social Artist, and the 2019 AMAs will air live on ABC on November 24th. So be on the lookout for that.
Cool.
Next one. Former Priston members. We talked about this last week. Unu, Roa, Yuha, and Yebin confirmed their new group name and logo. So the name is Hina Pia. Weird name. So it's a 5-member group consisting of the 4 former Priston members as well as a 5th member named Bada, who was born in 2002 and is the maknae of the group. While they were in Priston, a lot of them had stage names, so they're going back to their real names. Roa is going back to her real name of Mingyong. Reina is back to Yebin. Yua is back to Gyeongwon. So they are going back to their real names. So that's pretty cool. Lastly, Kakao/Daum takes measures against malicious commenters and defamation against celebrities. So the co-CEOs announced that Kakao and Daum will be removing the comment feature from articles and pages related to entertainment news. They made a big statement about it, but a lot of people are saying this might be a temporary move. What do you feel about this real quick?
Big brains. Big good.
I
Big
think
brain.
I hope it's not temporary.
Good and bad. Here's why. I think it's good that we're addressing it. But as someone who I spend a lot of time researching stuff for this podcast, losing people's opinions on stuff like good opinions, right? There's something to be said about that though. Because oftentimes I read articles and I want to be like, how do other people feel about this? And it's hard to gauge that when they do that. I think it is a step in the right direction. I don't know if this was the right thing though.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this because I'm a Korean myself. If we want something, we need to earn the right to it, and we need to deserve it. We don't right now. Guys, we killed a person like twice for doing bad things. I don't think we deserve this right now. So we'll get back to it once we know how to behave ourselves on the internet.
Yeah. But in terms of comebacks and releases, we got a ton of them again. So October 29th, Tuesday, Ace. October 30th, Wednesday, Eric Nam. He's releasing an album in English, and we have Yubin. November 1st, Friday, IU and Jesse featuring Jay Park. On November 3rd, it was that group we talked about, Hina Pia, which is the former Priston members. On Monday, November 4th, Victon, GOT7, Lee Jin-hyuk solo debut.
Oh man, that's a lie.
And then in terms of confirmed comeback news, we have Zion T on November 6th. Rainbow, November 15th. Even though they disbanded, they're doing something for the 10th anniversary. Mellowmans is making a comeback on November 25th. Last time before one of the members go to the military. AOA in November. Mamamoo mid-November. JYP, the man himself, by the end of the year.
Oh man, the man himself.
Lastly, State of the Nation. So, this is a question from Jeslyn. I know your podcast primarily is about K-pop, and I'm not sure if you guys watch K-dramas. I would like to know what your opinions on idols acting. Some idols are very successful, where others are just so-so. I feel sometimes a select few are so skilled in acting that they could just act instead of being an idol.
Others are just so-so. Winner.
What do you guys think about this?
You know, here I'll go first, right? Because I have.
See, I feel like I. Okay, I'll go.
Oh, big lag city today. Oh man, folks, we're not having a great time with Nita's internet tonight. But here's the thing. I'm gonna channel my inner Ajumma, channel my inner mom here, who complains about idols acting all the time. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm sorry. I know that she's not the only one. I know that there's a bunch of middle-aged Korean ladies who watch dramas who do not enjoy watching idols on TV as dramas and actresses. But occasionally there will be times where my mom goes, "She's an idol? Wow, I didn't expect that." So if they're gonna do if they're skilled at what they do, by all means.
Yeah.
But if they're being pushed into roles just because they're popular without being actually skilled, then my question goes up in the air. I think that's where it kind of boils down to.
There's a case study right now on this. Hotel
What do
de
you mean?
Luna. Main character, IU. One of the best acting idols, period. Right? For sure. Overall, overwhelmingly, everyone very positive about her acting. They had two other idols in minor roles with different reactions. Kangmina from Gugudan. Overall, everyone pretty much liked her performance because she has some acting experience. And then on the flip side, Pio. I love my boy Pio. Super popular on a variety sense. He was thrown into another one of the supporting roles. A lot of people did not like his performance and said that they threw him in just because he's popular at the moment.
There's like a spider the size of my hand over there. I'm kind of scared. But let's wrap up the podcast first.
But in terms of like I like Pio, but he did take away from some of the scenes with his lack of acting range because he didn't have that much experience with it.
Which drama was he in exactly?
Hotel de Luna.
Oh, was he also in the Luna? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kari, go.
Go ahead.
No.
Yo, if you be the young, go ahead.
All right, but I think it's one of those things. But the thing is, we don't know how good idols are going to be until we throw them into it too.
Yeah, but it's the job of producers to kind of figure that out, before
Okay,
they
that's true.
start filming. Yeah, like here's the thing, directors are gonna keep doing it because it'll get them views.
Mhm.
Do I think that's a wonderful thing? No, not really. But at the same time, I kind of understand. Man, the spider just did a big jump across the. Oh my god!
Anita, what do you feel about this?
Killed it.
I feel like I have watched my share of dramas that included idols trying their hand at acting, and I think for the most part, it is those people that like unexpectedly they get a role and like it's like huge. But I guess maybe I haven't seen that many that after that one big role can actually keep their going. I don't know. I think it depends a lot in maybe how they start. Like if it's a good first role and they do really well, then I guess that prospect in their career is it looks good. But if they try it out like 3-4 times and they get minor roles and it's not working out very well, I don't know. I sometimes wonder like why would they push them that much? Like I get it, it's popularity, they might get more viewers that way, but it kind of hurts the artists to a certain extent when they get a bad rep for acting. I don't know.
I mean, I agree with Warren. It's up to the producers to figure it out. Like, if there's someone who's popular right now, throw them in if they're good at acting. If they're not, they shouldn't do it, honestly.
From the viewer's perspective, it'd be nice if they were good at acting. It'd be nice if they didn't, like break the lines and whatnot. That's just how I kind of feel about it. If they can keep up with their role, do their share of what they need to do in the drama, by all means. I don't care if they're idols or not. I'm sure they'll be fine. If they're not good and they're still in the role for every episode, then my question is like, why? Like,
yeah. But I think that wraps up the question. Thank you, Jesslyn, for we are going to be skipping State of the Nation. We've won really long this week. So you'll get that next week. But this has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me. As a quick reminder, please leave us feedback and questions at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the SojuTalk YouTube channel, follow the SojuTalk Instagram, and join the SojuTalk Discord and be a part of the SojuTalk Nation. Links down below. We will see y'all next week when we have a gajillion releases to review again. See y'all then.
One more time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.